Well, hello there. Some of my website visitors asked me to review Vepp, V-E-P-P, a control panel for WordPress. So this video is about Vepp. But first, an introduction. I am Michael from Make It WordPress, and I'm on the quest to find the best possible WordPress. And for that, I'm also looking into a lot of possibilities to host your WordPress website, and Vepp is one of these possibilities. Vepp is aimed at WordPress professionals, agencies, freelancers who want to build their own hosting business or want to find a place to host their WordPress website for a small fee, so to say. So how it works is that Vepp is a control panel software. You need your own server. You need your own server to bring it along. And the Vepp will be installed on it, and it makes it very easy to run WordPress on a server and also manage this server. All the difficult technical things are done under the hood. So that's also basically what a control panel does. Saves you a lot of time. So we have a couple of nice features. Looks like this. I will go into the panel in the meantime. You can have a WordPress website with backups, temp checks, SSL. Also can connect it to Google Analytics. And yeah, that's basically it. So in this video, what I will do is set up Vepp on a new server. I will walk through the whole process with you, and also show all the features and give some of my personal remarks. And for hosting a website with Vepp, you need a server first, and there are a couple of good providers such as DigitalOcean, Linode, and Vultr, and the latter I really like. So I'll be going to Vultr now. So you can find Vultr, vultr.com. If you go to vultr.com, there's also a link below in the description. Vultr is a well-known cloud provider, and it provides several kind of service. Of course, you need an account for that. I'll just be logging in. Log in. And there we are. I already prepared the server running. But what you can do, if you're new, is click on the plus button, deploy a new server. I usually choose a high frequency because these servers are a lot faster. Choose Amsterdam. Then you need to run it on Ubuntu 18.04. For testing purposes, or up to 5 websites, the small server size is perfectly fine. If you have more, you want to run more websites, you need to have a bigger server. I would recommend to set up the auto backups and DDoS protection if you're using this for serious. And you can also connect your SSH key if you want. There we are, and you can deploy, and your server will be deploying. I will go back to my existing server and use that for connecting to Vepp. Let's go back to Vepp and sign in. By the way, you can find Vepp on vepp.com, very easy, just sign in. I will be signing up. The really good thing is that you can combine it with DigitalOcean server, which only costs you €10 a month, or with your own server, which is free. So this panel is free, and that's something which is really great. I will just keep making a new account. Tap, and continue. What you have to do now is fill in the IP address and the user and the password of the server, and it will be able to install. So for that you need to go back to Vultr. And this is my Vultr server, and you can just find the username and IP in here. I'll just copy this and the password, and there we go. Just hit add. And this is funny. I expected this because actually I already had Vepp installed before in this server, and then I deleted Vepp from the server. Now it can be reinstalled, one of these bugs from Vepp. So what we need to do is actually build a new server and create a new server. Our frequency Amsterdam, Ubuntu 8.4, smallest size. That again. And there. Our server is being installed. Takes a minute or so, it's pretty fast. We need to copy the IP address and the password. Just paste it in a temporary text document, and we need these details to enter into the Vepp panel. There are we going to enter details. Add. And there we are. Vepp is being configured, and we can already start by adding a website. Takes some time though, so let's just go start. You can migrate an existing website, create a new one, or create one manually, and we'll be going through the wizard of Vepp. So the downside of Vepp is, by the way, that you can only connect to one server per account, and that's the error you also saw earlier in this video, that I already had another server connected to another account, and I deleted the server afterwards, but Vepp still keeps it in the record, so you cannot re-add that server again. And there are a couple of other small of these flaws which were encountered during using the platform. It's also originally a Russian platform. You sometimes can see in the English. Not that my English is totally perfect, but sometimes a bit weird. But having said that, these are some of the first remarks I had on the platform. I think it looks pretty good and neat. When you start creating a website, the Vepp learning toggle will be switched on and will give you some tips on how to use the platform. For example, you can just select a WordPress theme in here, which is recommended by Vepp. So let's select just this one. You can buy a domain using service of a Vepp. You can assign a domain later. We use the IP of the server to log in, or we can enter a domain we already own. In this case, I will enter a domain, or a subdomain that I already own. When entering this, make sure that this domain points to the IP address of your server. So, do you remember the IP address we copied before? Your domain should be pointing, or at least in this case, the domain should be pointing to that IP in order for this to work. I'll be doing this now. I assume that you're familiar with adjusting the DNS settings of the server. I'll be back in a minute. So I will be using this custom subdomain. It's pointed towards the server, and let's create a website. Now, what will happen now is that actually the whole server will be installed, so the correct software will be installed, and afterwards the database and WordPress itself will be installed. It takes roughly 10 minutes for this to complete. So just let's speed up this a bit since it is a video. So there we are. Vepp is installed on. the server, and this is the first screen. You will see the overview of the website you installed. Again, the tour is going on. We'll give explanations about what each thing is, and I think this is a beautiful thing, especially if you're a new user. And we completed our training. Great. So Vepp will take care of your server so that you can take care of your website. Beautiful, isn't it? So what can you do with Vepp? Well, you can see and manage your website, create backups, install an SSL, scan the website for any malware, also access the WordPress installation and see if the domain is working. The same things are also available under the settings tab. This is the functionality to scan for malware. Actually, you can just hit scan website and it will scan if there's any viruses. You can change any settings for WordPress. By default, page caching is not active. You need to install the WP Optimize plugin. You can change the permalinks from here and also do some optimizations for the database. There's a backup tab. You can create a copy, for example. And the nice thing is that you can choose the local storage or connect it to your Google Drive account. And it's always good to have remote backups. Might the server fail, but for now we'll just create a local one. And here it's now being created, and this is a pretty great feature. You can also browse the files of your website. The thing is that the file name doesn't show actually, but I think something is in here. Yeah, that's what I meant about some of these small quirks are here and there. You can see your databases, access the PHP admin, which is a database manager, and also do some things such as you can see what are the parameters for connections, so the database name and password. You can rename it, add another user, you can dump your database and also delete it, which of course deletes all your data connected to this website. There are some PHP settings which you can change here. You can do some optimizations, also change the version. This is the default version installed by Vepp. At last, you can manage the SSL certificates in here. You can see the FTP details. To connect to your server over FTP in here, which is used to send over files. And at last, you can create mailboxes. Very nice feature as well. Vepp supports mailboxes. And you can also hide the menu. Now, moreover, you can connect Vepp to your Google Analytics account and also see some basic statistics from your Google Analytics right through the Vepp panel. Again, an amazing feature, I think. Very nice. And at last, you can create a staging version of your website, which is a development environment. So you can use a staging version to test certain things before testing it on the live website. Think of theme updates, plugin updates, if you're a developer you want to change code, and so forth. Well, this is basically the panel of Vepp. It's very simple. You can also click on My Web to see an overview of all of your websites. You can have the same actual wizard as we had before by clicking on Create a Website. Very easy. By the way, if you look up this website, you can also directly log into the website by clicking on WordPress admin panel. This will redirect you to WordPress, and it's unable to connect. Ooh, what a bummer. Alrighty, I created a new website edition because the previous one wasn't working and I didn't get any feedback on why it wasn't working. And the bad thing also is that there isn't really support included in this website. You can give feedback, and if you try hard, you may be able to find an email address to email people for some questions, but they don't advertise a real support, and it's not a surprise because it's a free product. It used to be paid with support included. It's a new direction they're taking, but yeah, you're a bit in the dark if it comes to errors like this. But I created a new environment and it works pretty fine. We can just access the WordPress admin panel in one click. And there we are. We're now in the WordPress panel of this installation. We can view the template we just installed. Not really a special thing, but looks good. And it's WordPress. Like that. I would go back to the panel of Vepp now. And there we go. This is the Vepp panel. There is one thing I want to show you, and that's the trusted user and action log. I'll start with the action log, which is a log of all things that happens within that. Furthermore, the trusted user is another nifty feature you can use to add another user. For example, you can give it full access to your web panel, or make the user and then select what kind of websites it can access. And there we are. Pretty useful if you're working with clients, or if you're collaborating with some people. And if you click send invitation, of course, this user will get an email. So this is Vepp. I hope you like it. I hope you like how it works and what it does. I think it looks pretty well. I like the tour. I like the simplicity. Design, it looks very good. There are a couple of things though. I'll just create a staging for now. There are just a couple of things now that still need to be improved. The first thing is the ability to support more servers in one account. It's now not possible to have multiple servers in one account, and as you can see with the sign up process, if you use a private server, it doesn't work. And if you delete your server, everything is obviously gone, but you also cannot reconnect. It's impossible to reconnect. And that's really a bummer. And sometimes there are these small errors, such as your other website not working. It probably has to do with the DNS being not pointed towards the right PR ready. Sometimes it takes some time, but you don't get a warning of it. And furthermore, I also tested the performance of Vepp, even with caching on, and the performance is not that good compared to other control panels. I think it has been actually the worst of all the control panels I tested. Now I must say, I only do the caching that's advertised by the platform itself, so I followed everything that Vepp said to do with caching. I don't do any other optimizations because I want a system or a hosting option to be performant out of the box without too many manual tweaks. And unfortunately, it is also an area that really needs some improvement, in my opinion. So what would make it great is, I think, the support for multiple servers, and also improve the performance. And furthermore, you might want to add some things such as more easily cloning websites for developers, better Git integration and deployments, such kind of things, better control over users, DNS integrations. I think the feature-wise, the platform is already very nice, but especially in terms of performance and support, it can be improved. And it's free now. I think they're in a bad stage and want to receive product feedback. So I hope the developers of the platform also read my review. And if you want to try it out, they're free. There's also a link below in the description of this video. You can also find a filter there and a link to the elaborate review. And thank you for watching. and let's continue the quest to find the best of WordPress.